What's up guys, Food and That coming at you with a brand new video. I know it's been a hot minute, just been away, been doing some stuff, been busy, but I've started uploading to Rumble and TikTok, so I'll put the links in the description. I have kind of not been uploading much or editing much, but I'm gonna start filming. Maybe I've got like 5 videos in the works, so we'll see how that goes, see how long I can stretch it. So today we're going to be making pesto, just traditional pesto, but we're subbing out the pine nuts for walnuts. We're going to use toasted walnuts instead. Just as good, it just has a different flavour. They're not as sweet as pine nuts, but you know, there's a supply shortage at the moment, so it's just going to be a while until I get pine nuts. So in the meantime, we use walnuts. I've got a head and a half of garlic here. I'm just going to fry that lightly, like the cloves whole in a frying pan, just to get like a bit of a sugary flavour from them, because I find the raw garlic on its own is just a bit strong. We've got and this is 180 grams of walnuts. We've got 150 grams of Parmesan cheese already grated. You can use the real thing, but damn, that stuff's really expensive. And then we've got basil as well, fresh basil, about 2 to 3 handfuls. I'd say 2, like 2 big handfuls. And then we've got extra virgin olive oil on the right, and then just vegetable oil on the left. In terms of volume, I don't know, I'm just gonna eyeball it and show you guys. I'd say maybe like a cup, 2 cups, but I don't know what that is in volume, so we're gonna find out later on. Got this on just to cover out the brands. If they wanna pay me, they can. Until that day, keep it basic. Okay, so we'll get on to roasting the walnuts now. Okay guys, so we've got our super low heat. You want a super low heat, and you just want to kind of like put them in there, give them a little mix, stuff like this. Obviously be careful, don't do anything dangerous if the pan's hot. We're just going to toast them. So what I mean by toasting is just apply a really low, slow heat. We're just trying to wake up the oils inside of the nut because it's full of oils, and it'll kind of sweeten in flavour and change as well, and sort of take on like a toastiness to it. And I'm talking like maybe a minute 30 in the pan, like nothing crazy, just to get some colour, get some flavour. You should be able to smell the walnuts from like the other side of the room, and that's how you know they're ready. So you can just give them a little toss. See, I can touch them, they're not even hot. So this is the heat I'm talking about, guys. Don't make it too crazy. So these walnuts are done. Like, they're not even really completely hot to the touch, but I don't want to hold on to it too long. You can actually feel on your finger like some of the oil. So I've turned the heat off now, and I'm just going to let them sit in the pan and just continue toasting a little bit. So they're good. I'm going to put these into the blender for later, and I'm going to move on to the garlic, and I'll show you that now. Okay guys, so with the garlic, you just want to take them all out of the skin. So pretty simple. That was actually very lucky and super rare that it just comes out like that. Focus. And I'm going to cut this little bottom off because it doesn't blend well, and it's a bit hard to chew. So I'm going to do that with all the cloves, and then I'm going to kind of lightly fry them. So I'll show you that. Okay guys, so I've got maybe like 2 tablespoons of just like plain vegetable oil in a frying pan on low heat, and I'm just going to add the cloves of garlic, just whole like this. Give them a little toss, and that's like 1.5 heads. So I'm even going to drop the heat a tiny bit, and I'm just going to constantly kind of like do this, shake them around a bit, and we just want to develop some colour and develop some sugars. We don't want them to go black or super brown. So I'll show you what they look like when they're done. So in the meantime, I put the walnuts into the blender. It's not plugged in, so I'm not going to lose my hand, don't worry. And I'm gonna put the Parmesan cheese in as well. So, and we're just gonna kind of layer everything. Sometimes it's better to put oil at the bottom because it acts as like a lubricant, but it's not a big deal. Like you'll see, you can put the oil in last and it will still, you know, work okay. So I'm gonna pick the basil leaves and add them to the blender too. This is what you're looking for. There's some color and just on the edges. They're not completely brown or completely black. Still some white parts showing. This is fine. We're just gonna turn the heat off now and remove the garlic. And we can add the oil it's been frying into the pesto as well, the extra garlic flavour. So guys, when you're picking the basil leaves, you kind of just want to get the good ones. So like this, this is okay. Got a tiny tear. But it's not a big deal. So these big ones, the small ones, you don't really want, I suppose it's fine, but you don't really want this part. It's like the flower bulb. Kind of looks like marijuana. This you can just chuck it or eat it, whatever, but I don't want it for my pesto, so I'm gonna chuck it. And then any kind of bruised or black leaves, you kind of just throw them away. One, because you don't want them to spoil the pesto. Two, they don't look that nice. Three, they don't taste that nice. So this is an example, and I'll show you the final amount of leaves that we need. This is enough for like 10 small jars of pesto, no, maybe 9. So here's all the leaves picked. So it's about like maybe a little bit over 2 big handfuls, like 2.5. So I'm going to add them all to the blender. So here's the blender, and you can see I've added the garlic as well, and the cheese and everything. So I'm just going to put it all in. You don't really need to chop it or anything. Blenders are good. It's good for the volume that I'm doing as well, because I'm doing quite a lot. But food processors are better if you can get a food processor and use that. So yeah. I think this is like really pretty, like the layering in the blender. You've got the walnuts at the bottom, and then the parmesan, the garlic, and then the basil on top. Kind of looks like a granola smoothie or like some rock thing, I don't know. So I'm gonna add a bunch of extra virgin olive oil. Okay, so now I'm adding the olive oil. I measured the bottle. It's 900 milliliters. So I'm just gonna, like when I'm finished adding the oil, I will measure how much is left. And then I'll tell you guys in milliliters. So you can see it kind of pooling up on top of the cheese. It's difficult for it to pass through the cheese because that's like a fat and it's like super dense as well, but you can kind of see it like cascade. And then I'm just going to kind of top it up with a bit of just regular vegetable oil. Okay, and we're going to blend it, see how it goes. Super tasty. Yum. Wow, delicious. Probably used about 500 milliliters of extra virgin olive oil and 500 of normal vegetable oil. And I added a bit more cheese, so I would say maybe like 200 grams of Parmesan cheese. And then like a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, not too much because the Parmesan cheese is already quite salty. So I'm just gonna bottle this now into some little jars and I'll show you that. Guys, if you do a lot of bottling at home, it's really useful to buy like a little funnel. So good for like these. So my hand's not blocking anything, is it? Okay. Just gonna add this. And be careful with this because it can slip, like it can fill up really quickly, really easily. And there you have it. That doesn't fit, okay. This should fit. Yeah. So there it is, guys. Little jar of pesto. This will last you forever in the fridge, like months. It looks quite liquidy now, but it's quite warm because it's been blended. But it will firm up a lot. It's like oil. It's the oil from the nuts and the cheese as well. So it keeps forever. It's just oil, salt, and like dried cheese. So keep it in the fridge. It will last you like 3 months at least. Great with so many things, with pestos in sandwiches. I actually have a video, I think, up here for a pesto and pork pasta. And if you stay locked to the channel, I'm actually going to do a video very soon with this pesto that I've made here. So yeah, hope you enjoy the recipe, guys. Give this a go. Pretty simple pesto with some substitutes, and so like a million times better than store-bought pestos. Like once you make it yourself, there's no going back to store-bought ever, even if it's like the best. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.